The Running Man suffers from a pacing issue that one minor fix could have remedied. In The Running Man, there's an angry satirical undercurrent that calls out the modern media landscape and the way governments can use it to abuse their populations. It's at the core of The Running Man's world and is central to the film's themes. However, that theme gets somewhat lost in the second act, where things turn to Ben Richards and his desperate attempts to stay ahead of the hunters. It's unfortunate, as one character introduced in the latter half of the film embodies those themes completely and could have done more so if she'd been in more of Edgar Wright's movie. Amelia Williams is more important to The Running Man than she appears. Introduced over halfway through the film, Amelia plays a distinctly important narrative and thematic role in The Running Man, and an enhanced focus on her could have improved the Edgar Wright film. Amelia is an affluent citizen of The Running Man's dystopian world, but isn't necessarily a villain. Serving as a stand-in for the general public who have come to accept the network and their directive over their lives, Amelia is introduced casually chatting on the phone with a friend about a reality show they appreciate. After being taken captive by a desperate Ben Richards, she gradually learns he's not the murderer she thought he was. Amelia serves as one of the film's most important thematic tools, a showcase for the acceptance of banal evil for the sake of comfort that propels forces like the network into power. Her arc is best summed up with her silk scarf, a fashionable piece that Ben points out could have also been spent buying life-saving medicine for children. Amelia not only finds out that the network has been lying and manipulating the public through altered footage and manipulated media, but that her own complicity in the cruelty afflicting other citizens makes her culpable on some levels for the abuse heaped upon people like Ben and his family. She ends up giving the scarf to help an injured Ben. The problem is that this element of the film only comes into play in the second half. It's an element that the movie teases with the blanket acceptance of the Running Man TV show by the general public, but the second half gets very quickly lost in Ben's efforts to stay ahead of McCone and the hunters. These sections of the movie are still entertaining, a credit to the efforts of Edgar Wright and the charms of Glenn Powell. However, it lacks the emotional core that makes the first and third acts harder hitting. The movie has a harder time balancing the bombastic action and the thematic through-line, leading to history lessons followed by Home Alone shenanigans. Amelia could have been the key to fixing this element. Her presence, both as a contrast to Ben and an audience surrogate to depict the movie's moral, could have given the film a tighter arc. Instead, the film suffers from a tonal disconnect during this section of the movie, which slows down the pacing more than any other Wright film. How The Running Man could have used Amelia better. Amelia is a solid character in The Running Man, serving as a fitting contrast to Ben. Having her appear earlier in the film could have given Ben someone to bounce off, especially if it avoided the romantic arc that the Ben and Amelia of the previous The Running Man adaptation and kept things focused on their similarities and differences. Ben could have encountered Amelia earlier in the film, potentially as soon as he escaped from Boston. Capturing her at that point when his image is still defined by the agency's fake news could have given Ben a direct contrast to the revolutionary ideals of Elton. In turn, Elton's arguments could help motivate her own evolution. This would have given Amelia and Ben more time to contrast their experiences, highlighting Amelia's inadvertent role in sustaining a world where something like the Running Man show is possible. It would have given her more time to develop as a character, making her gradual growth feel more earned and personable. This would have also been crucial to the ending of the film, which depicts Amelia as a new revolutionary who helps recover the black box from the plane crash that exposes the network's lies about Richard. Having that fuller role for Amelia in the film would have made that turn more emotionally effective and underscored her growth. More than anything, Amelia having a larger role in the film would have highlighted the film's ultimate message, meant for the audience of the in-universe game show and the real-life viewers of The Running Man. Seeing someone go from a comfortable life of blissful ignorance to a freedom fighter proves Ben's philosophy.